You're listening to the Ripple Podcast. We joke and laugh a lot, but the content itself is serious, sometimes scary, graphic, and always true. This podcast is meant for mature audiences and includes subject matter and language that is not suitable for young listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Get Ripple, the bright new drink with that ring-a-ding flavor. Ripple.
Hello.
Hi.
That was my finger.
No, it wasn't.
It was. That was my finger on the chair. My nail caught the fabric on it.
I really hope the mic picked that up.
It didn't.
Was it a fart or was it a finger?
It was just scratched the chair.
Okay, so did you post to Instagram what I sent you?
No, because you didn't tell me what to say.
I don't know what to say, but I'm seriously amped on what I saw. So I was leaving my house and I look up into the sky and I see this parade of lights going by.
Like the Disneyland Parade of Lights?
Oh, I missed the parade of lights.
Is that what it's called? Or is there another? I feel like there's
electric parade. Disney's electric light.
Electric Light Orchestra.
ELO.
Hello?
Yellow?
No, that's not it.
Electric Light Parade, I think.
Is that?
Mm-hmm.
No more.
I know. Gone. Disneyland might be gone for that matter.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough break. Although there's like so many companies now that are suing the state of California to reopen. And I'm sure Disney is on top of that. So
Right.
Who knows?
Okay, so back to my parade of lights. It was probably like 30 or 40 white lights in a perfectly straight little line doing a parade in the sky. And I'm on the phone with Angela and I'm like, oh my God, there's like these lights.
There's just these lights
in the sky.
A line of them.
A line. And they were super close to each other. And I thought maybe it was like
aliens,
some flight pattern, but they were pretty low. And there's not an airport where something like that would be by my house.
And I told you to ask your phone what it was.
And my phone didn't answer like I wanted it to.
No.
And I don't know if there's a way you can go back. Can you go back and search like what was in the sky at this
Probably.
time? We'll have to do that. So then I go to good old Google and I think they were satellites or aliens because there's no recent stories of satellites supposed to be seen.
Maybe they're alien satellites.
It's possible.
I mean, there has been some alien activity in our country lately.
Well, okay, so then I'm all like tripping out on these parade of lights in the sky, and I see a giant shooting star. Giant.
Or was it?
No, I think it's the parade of light aliens like shooting missiles at us.
Oh, okay. Well, things are going great. Happy 2020.
You know? And then I was talking to my friend, and she said that Saturn and Jupiter are going to be in conjunction with Earth, and that hasn't happened since like Galileo days.
Conjunction, like they're all lined up?
Perfect.
Is that what that means?
Mm-hmm, perfectly in line.
What's that supposed to do?
Who knows? Because like Jupiter pretty much protects Earth, right, from the gravitational pull. Like if like
what are you talking about?
Yeah, like if something is like coming at Earth because Jupiter is so big,
it's gonna suck it in before it gets to Earth.
Yeah.
How come it didn't suck up that meat shower?
Because people were hungry.
And cats were hungry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I heard. Saturn and Jupiter are going like in the next couple of days be in conjunction.
Interesting.
Conjunction function.
Well, I don't know anything about like all of the
sky stuff
relating to like signs and all of the astrology and
what
things
are you?
like that.
You're
I'm
not
a
Virgo. Libra. That's
yes.
the scales?
I'm the scales.
So you're like,
I need to balance things all the time. We were going to do an episode about this.
We should. I'm a Leo.
You're a lion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that like Saturn, whatever in retrograde, something in retrograde.
I know that
is
word.
kind of a bad thing. So maybe it'll be out of retrograde and we'll have a happy 2021.
But I don't even really know what retrograde means.
I have no clue.
But I know that word. Retrograde. I also know conjunction function.
What's your function?
Mm-hmm. So Angela's going to post on Instagram what I saw, and it's bizarre. It's crazy. I'm seriously like, have so much like adrenaline going from it because it was just so crazy.
Or is it from the drink that I just poured you?
Oh, tell us about the drink.
So tonight we're talking about Ireland. And what?
What do they say in Ireland? It's not g'day, mate, because that's Australia. Ireland is, what do they say?
I know it. Okay, this is what my boss taught me, but I forgot how to pronounce it, so I had to look it up.
Pogmahome?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
You want to guess?
Say it again.
I'll give you, okay, it's 3 words.
Pogmahome. Okay.
My boss taught me that.
Okay. I can guess what it is.
Mm-hmm.
What are my options?
Is it let's get drunk? Is it kiss my ass? Or is it fuck your mother?
Kiss my ass.
Good job.
Thanks, I speak Irish.
Good job. So yeah, we're having some Jameson Irish coffee. So I just, simple recipe. If you need to take note on this, I'll give you time to like grab a notepad or something. But it is a heavy pour of Jameson.
Heavy pour.
And fill the rest of your mug up with some coffee.
And you're done.
Ta-da!
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's perfect for a night like tonight.
Mm-hmm.
The wind is howling outside. We are in high fire watch.
We said that seriously so many times on this
It
podcast.
should pretty much be called the fire pod.
It really is. It's constantly dry and hot and windy. And yeah, I feel like I need... Do you know how people who live in places where it like snows and gets cold and dark and stuff, how they have the sad lights, the seasonal something depression lights,
like in Alaska,
yeah, or just like other parts of the U.S. Like
that are
I
dark.
know people in Colorado who have those.
Oh, okay.
I need the opposite of that.
You need the dark lights.
I need the dark lights. I need like a rain simulator.
Why don't you get a little indoor fountain?
Oh, maybe I should do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't even remember the last time it rained. I was trying to think of that yesterday. When was the last time it rained? Do you remember?
Well, we get like sprinkles. That's not real rain.
No, that's not. That's
I want
not.
I want it to rain for like 4 days.
Like it needs, the last time it quote unquote rained, it got my car dirtier than it was before. Because it was just enough to barely like, it was like taking, it was like taking a spray bottle and misting my car and then just the
leaving
dust
it.
covered it. And that was that. So yeah.
I love
need
the
one of
rain.
those.
I love the way it smells. I love the way it sounds.
I miss it.
It's good.
It's been too long.
Do you want something to make you happy?
Yes. Oh, you have a present?
Don't I always?
No.
Dun 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 dun.
Jingle jangle. You went to Trader Joe's?
I went to Trader Joe's.
And I see you've opened it.
I did. And do you see all those scratches on the top of it and on the bottom? Guess who else tried to open it?
Your dog?
Mm-hmm.
How did he get to it?
He smelled it.
And how did he get up to it, though? Oh, my gosh, this is so good.
It's ridiculous.
Here's some ASMR. So it has, like, chocolate-covered popcorn, chocolate-covered pretzels, little, like, M&M thingies, and then, like, little cups of what's
You're
in
so
here.
excited right now.
I
love
really
it.
am. This is, like, what is this thing?
I think it's a chocolate-covered JoJo. Oh, JoJo. What are they called? JoJo's. Oh,
JoJo's. The
cookies. The
Trader
Oreos.
Joe's Oreos. Oh, my God.
My favorite are these ones.
The popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
So good. How am I supposed to keep recording now?
It's okay. You can take little breaks.
Go ahead and talk.
It's yummy. I had never had it before you told me about it. So when I went to Trader Joe's and I saw it in the store, I'm like, oh, I've got to get this. And it was so funny because I didn't even really know what I was buying because there's not a very good description on the thing. It just says a fun mix of fan favorite candy treats.
Except right here where it says milk and dark chocolate peanut butter cups.
Oh.
Dark chocolate adorned JoJo cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Milk chocolate candies.
Oh, yeah. I didn't read any of that. No.
Dark chocolate covered caramel corn. And milk and dark chocolate covered pretzels.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's just so good.
It's ridiculous.
Screw those lights. This is what everyone needs.
Uh-huh. That'll make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
That and a thing of Jameson and coffee.
Yeah, we're off to a good start.
So you're telling me about Ireland.
Yeah.
And what's your subject matter?
Well, hold on.
It's okay.
Still chewing.
It's all right.
The topic I pulled was paranormal.
Oh, right.
And
Oh, perfect for tonight in my alien spotting.
Yes, your satellite aliens. I'm not quite sure if this is entirely paranormal or if it's like a medical oddity or a mystery
It's just checking all the
or
boxes.
something in between.
You're like an overachiever at this point.
Well, let me tell you. Are you ready for the story?
Totally.
You have anything else to say? Anything else to talk about?
No,
before
I
we
didn't
get started?
ask you anything. I didn't ask you about your week. All I wanted to talk about was my alien sighting.
Oh, speaking of aliens, I have one thing to talk about before we get started.
Okay.
Okay, so last week we talked about the hieroglyph,
Oh,
right?
the silver thing.
Monolith. Not the That's what you were trying to think of last week. The monolith, right?
Uh-huh.
Is that what it was called?
Sure.
In Utah.
The silver thing.
The silver thing, the big, like,
Rectangle-ish.
thing. I don't remember what shape it was. Triangle? Rectangle?
Hey, maybe it was, you know, the mirror that, like, is, like, everyone's buying for fitness now?
Oh, yes.
Maybe it was, like, their way of, like, promoting.
Oh, maybe.
Like a, what are those things called? Not an ad tactic, but like a marketing scheme.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it came out and everybody started seeing clowns all over the country.
And red balloons.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was totally planned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a terrible idea, but yeah, that's a possibility.
Did you find out more about it?
It's gone.
Shut the fuck up.
It is gone. It has vanished. It has left the desert.
No.
It has disappeared.
People weren't like guarding it?
No, and that's kind of what I thought, because the Bureau of Land Management was put out that statement that like nobody come out here and try to find it because you're going to get like trapped in the desert and you're going to get lost and you're not prepared. So I would think that they would have had people kind of post it out.
At least, or like security cameras.
Well, I don't know, but no, it's gone.
No way.
It is totally gone. And
what is their explanation?
It's gone. That's all they really said. They
No.
said they don't know who took it.
They can't just say that.
Yeah. I think the aliens took it. I think they took it back. I think it was discovered. They got the information they needed. They decided 2020 is a shit show. We don't want anything to do with you guys anymore.
Fuck out of here.
And they just beamed it away.
Take me with you.
But in other news, I think the aliens also took another monolith. Is that what it's called? Am I saying it right?
I don't know. It's your story.
Okay. So in Germany, I don't know if you heard about this, but there was another piece of artwork or whatever it was stolen. It was called the Hall's penis.
Yes. If I was creating art, that's what I would call my art.
Yes. It was a phallic wooden statue, and it was found erected in Gröten, Germany, a couple years ago, and it has disappeared under similar mysterious circumstances. Go ahead.
But that was a penis. I mean, like someone like created it to look like a penis and named it Hall's penis. It wasn't like some
Mysterious alien thing.
shiny, giant metal configuration.
Right, but maybe when the aliens took their giant shiny metal thing, they needed
took the giant
a
penis with
souvenir
it?
to go with them. Yeah, so the local newspapers reported that the 2-meter tall structure,
2 meters is
big,
okay.
was taken by an unknown person. All that was left was a sorry stump and some sawdust.
Sorry, stop.
Yeah,
This is some high school kids that were bored. That's what that
Probably.
was.
I know. It's going to end up in like a gym someday. On Monday, local police
Or a
declared that
frat
the phallic...
house.
Yeah, that's probably where it is. It's like on a frat house roof. They made it into a beer bong. Yeah, so it went missing. They're unsure of what criminal charges might be able to be pressed if the thief were to be arrested. Yeah, they don't really know what to do in that case.
I
guess
bet
they've never had that happen before.
I bet they turned it into a shot luge.
Oh, yes.
You just like put the shot on the shaft and you slide it down.
Just line your face up right between the balls.
I am so going to make that, and I'm going to make $1 million.
You're going to make a penis lube?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know.
Are you a really good whittler?
No. Whittler.
Hey, when the ceramic place opens again, if it ever opens again.
Color me mine.
You should go make one out of clay.
I'm going to. And I'm going to have you use my penis luge.
Okay, I'll try it out. I'll be the test subject.
Okay. That's going to be our Christmas game.
Yeah, you know what? If we ever have merch, that's going to be the first on the list.
Heck yeah. I know. I got to release our merch. We've got some great stuff in the works.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I showed you the alien.
Yes. Oh, we need to do that.
I know.
Christmas is just around the corner.
I know.
It's a really great design that Rosa came up with.
It's so cute.
Okay. Should I tell my story?
I really want to hear your story.
Okay. So, first sources, I have Irish Central, BBC Strange But True, Yesterday's Children, Irish Independent, Infographic, and Virginia Perceptual Studies.
Did you have to hit Google Translate for any of these?
I actually didn't, no.
Bitch. Continue.
And that's probably because my story actually starts in England. And the subject of my story is Jenny Cockell. And she was born, speaking of holes penis, Cockell was born in 1953. Are you okay there? You need a second?
What was it last time? Dick Best.
Yeah.
Dick Best. God, I'm so immature.
Oh, it's great. So am I. Okay. So as a young girl of the age of about 3 or 4, Jenny was a very, very curious and inquisitive child. She remembers drawing pictures of houses and towns and playing with her doll, who she called Elizabeth. And she called herself Mary, which
she called herself Mary?
Mm-hmm. She wanted to be called Mary.
And her name was Jenny.
Her name was Jenny.
Okay.
Which I remember, I mean, probably not at 3 or 4, but like I remember wanting to change my name when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like Ashley or Brittany.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? Hello, Rosa? Your name is Rosa, and you have blonde hair and green eyes.
It's okay.
I love it now.
I love my name now, too.
I absolutely love it now. But, yeah, younger, I was not a fan.
Mm-hmm. So she remembers going to Sunday school where they learned about going to heaven after death. And she always wondered why the teachers never taught her about life before she was born.
Okay.
Like, I mean, that's a legitimate question for a little kid.
I was going to say, that's a very deep thought for a young child.
Mm-hmm. And as Jenny got older, she started having nightmares of being a bedridden woman. And she was sick in her dream. She was a mother of 8 children, and she feared that she was just going to die and leave them alone when they needed her most. So, crazy dream to have as a kid.
Yeah.
But she kept having these night terrors again and again.
Like reoccurring.
Mm-hmm. And she would like wake up screaming, and her parents tried to soothe her through these dreams, but they just continued to haunt her. And this happened like all the way up into her teenage years. And this reoccurring dream became more vivid and detailed as she got older. And she learned that she was a 35-year-old woman named Mary and was dying after giving birth to her 8th child.
What?
So I don't know if you've ever we talked about this when we talked about lucid dreaming, but reoccurring dreams where you like learn more and more of the story as you go on.
Like it's another continuation of a chapter.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I had that a lot. I remember having this one reoccurring dream. You were in it, and so was my brother.
And you were there? And you were there.
No, but we were all superheroes. It was really fun.
That's a cool dream.
It was. We were like X-Men. We were like mutants and outcasts, but we had like special powers.
The 3 of us?
Uh-huh.
That's rad.
Also, your boyfriend was a Shaq doll. Like a Shaq, like action figure.
Like little.
Like Barbie size.
That's my boyfriend.
That's your boyfriend.
And he was Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a doll.
Yes.
That's weird.
Uh-huh.
Did he have superpowers?
I don't know. Maybe he was like stretchy, like Stretch Armstrong. Honestly, I don't remember.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun, though.
Okay, so Jenny/Mary. She says, quote, I remember feeling so upset and guilty for leaving my children. There was this sense of wanting to go and see what had happened to them and make sure that they were all right. So once Jenny was school age, she remembers flipping through the atlas at the school library and she came across a map of Dublin, Ireland. And she noticed this small town called Malahide, and she instantly felt this intense connection with this town. She recognized the layout out of the town from the map, and she recognized it because that was the same map that she would draw all the time as a little kid.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's weird.
Super weird. It makes me want to go back and, well, not that my mom kept any of my artwork as a child, but
My mom kept the horse painting I did.
yeah, she kept it to laugh at it.
Should we put that on our Instagram page?
And guess how old Rosa was?
Guess what this is a picture of? Let's start with that.
Okay. So as Jenny grew up, she continued to have dreams of being Mary, who she now believed to be from Malahide.
And she's high school at this age?
She's probably out of high school at this age.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe somewhere between high school and after high school. She would have flashes of fragmented memories that weren't her own. And this started occurring during the day now. Like she would just have this flash and be like, have this memory, but she didn't experience it. It was just like a memory that was there.
Huh.
She would have these memories of doing household chores with her children and doing things like stuffing a mattress full of chaff.
I don't know what that is.
It's like when you're harvesting like a grain, all of the stuff that's not the grain. So like say you're harvesting corn.
It's
like
the husks.
The husk and the stalk and
Okay.
everything else. And like it gets all chopped up. And I guess
Like
back in-
mulch.
kind of, but dry.
Okay.
So it's not going to like
Rot.
and light your house on fire. Okay. But yeah, it's like, I guess in olden times, kind of like a straw mattress, you know?
Okay.
That would be the same thing.
Uh-huh.
So she remembers stuffing this mattress so full of chaff that it wouldn't fit through the door when they tried to bring it back inside. And like she started laughing with all of the kids, and it was just like this funny, silly memory. So throughout her life, Jenny wrote down these memories, and she believed that they were Mary's. And she had these memories about her family, her home, the town she lived in, and how much she loved these children and all of the fun things that they would do together. So it wasn't until Jenny herself grew up and got married and had children of her own that she truly understood the love that Mary had for her children. And she decided to explore these supposed memories further.
Does she have a time frame when she thinks Mary was around?
Well, she didn't initially, but she went to a hypnotist.
Oh, cool.
And she underwent several sessions of past life regression therapy. So that's where like the medical part comes in.
Sure.
So like the psychology of it, and there's like all kinds of weird theories about stuff like this, because sometimes different psychologists believe that this is like a coping mechanism for some kind of trauma. So you're like taking yourself outside of the trauma and you're like, now this other person, and that's your way of dealing with it. But this particular past life regression session, I guess, led Mary to learn more about who she truly was in a past life.
This is so cool.
Okay, so in 1989, she traveled to Malahide to see Mary's hometown firsthand.
And she's had children of her own at this point.
Right.
Okay.
She's grown up, has kids. And when she got to Malahide, here's a quote from her. She says, I noticed things had changed, like the builder's yard being replaced by a supermarket and the old jetty being updated into a nice new concrete jetty.
That's weird.
How insane is that?
I don't even remember things that changed in my own town.
I was just thinking that. Yeah, so she's walking around and she's like, oh, well, that's where my bakery was. And it's I don't know, McDonald's now.
Yeah, Starbucks.
Okay. She says, I knew the house was grouped with a few other houses opposite a boggy meadow. When I walked to where I thought the house was, there was just ruins there. I got there just in time because the ruins were only there for a short time afterwards until development was built on the land. So she had made it this far, but she was still skeptical and still unsure if like this was just like a fluke or if she truly was Mary in a past life.
Right. Because you're going to be doubting yourself. Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Where are these thoughts coming from? Where are these memories coming from? I'm Jenny. I'm not Mary.
Exactly.
But then you're like, how do I know this stuff?
But Mary is constantly like in her dreams and in her thoughts and just like trying to get out of her life, I guess. So she wasn't sure what Mary's surname had been, and only believing that she had been called Mary and lived in Malahide in the 1930s. Oh, sorry. That was when you were asking about that. They had determined that in the regression therapy. Okay. And so that would mean that Mary had died a full 21 years before Jenny's current life had started.
Because there's like a 50-year, no, more than well, at the time she's there, it's a 50-year difference.
Sure.
Because you said 89, she traveled to Malahide, right?
Right.
And 33 is when?
30, so it'll go from 30 to 90, so 60 years.
Oh, 60 years. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, rounding up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so by connecting with these locals, she found a man who remembered the family who had lived in the ruined cottage and established that she had been named
Mary.
Bethany.
What the fuck?
No, it was Mary.
Oh.
Mary Sutton. So she got the last name. So sweet. She has another clue. So she's now able to start to this quest to find these children, because that's like this urge that's been there her whole life since she was like a 3-year-old, that she had to find these kids that she believed that she had orphaned, but feeling kind of uncertain about it and like really how to track them down. She didn't know their names. She put in a ad in the local newspaper looking for these kids. And she says, I did worry for a long time about contacting Mary's children, Cockell said. I was concerned that by approaching them, it might do some harm. But ultimately, I thought I thought I would make contact and leave the decision to them on whether or not they wanted to talk to me.
Sure.
So she puts this ad in the Irish newspaper, and she was contacted by a man named John, who she thought was one of her children. And he, in turn, put her in touch with his brother Sonny, who was living in England.
Oh.
Where she was living.
Oh.
At that point, this is like when BBC comes in and they're like, hell yeah, this is a crazy story. We need to document this.
We're taking over.
Right. So they start recording the strange but true documentary. So they got involved and they decided that they were going to like ultimately determine whether she was a crazy lady or if this was actually something legit. So they interview Mary and they take pages and pages of notes. I think they said like 9 pages of notes. And then they go in and interview these 2 sons who are supposedly Mary's sons.
Okay.
And they take pages and pages of notes. And
has Mary talked with the sons yet?
No.
It's separate.
The only contact really was just like he answered the ad in the newspaper.
Okay. So they're going to like compare notes.
Mm-hmm. So there's 9 pages of information and the stories matched.
What?
Insane. They say it was important that there was independent research by a third party. Oh, this is Mary or Jenny, or it gets confusing. So this is that Cockell. Let's go with Cockell. So Cockell says, it was important that there was independent research by a third party for me. This was less about proving reincarnation than it was about finding out what happened to the family.
Yeah, she's in it to have closure, it sounds like.
Yeah, because this
rather
thing's
than
like
fame and fortune.
Well, maybe. I mean, I would hope so. But it sounds like it's something that's like been around forever.
Right.
And she just needs to like figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as well as Sunny, she comes in contact with Christy, who is now 72.
Oh, wow.
Frank, who is 70. Phyllis, who is 71. Jeffrey James, who actually he died at age 66 in 1992, so she didn't get to meet him. And Betty, 62.
How many is that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, and that's how many children she said she had.
Right. And the youngest child, Betty, 62. Remember her doll?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even put that together.
Yep. Her little doll that she named Elizabeth. And if she, which we find, truly did die after childbirth, that was the baby that she never got to hold.
Oh my gosh, my heart.
Okay, so those were the siblings who are still living. And, well, Sonny accepted that Cockell was the reincarnation of his mother after the BBC interview because so many things connected. Several of the others were more skeptical, which, like, yeah, understandable. But they were mostly willing to accept that she at least had some sort of message going through her, maybe from her mother, from God, that brought them back together after all of these years. Because when Mary passed away, the children were sent to an orphanage.
Oh.
So they all were separated and went into different homes.
Oh, that's sad.
And they really didn't have any contact with each other anymore. So I think only the oldest boy stayed with the father and all of the others were sent off.
I wonder why.
I don't know. I mean, it was back in the 30s. They probably just thought it was easier that way to have like closed adoptions. But two of the girls, I think the only two girls, Phyllis and Betty, ended up living like 15 minutes away from each other and they had no idea.
Oh, so that at least brought all of them together.
Yeah, which
this
is
whole thing.
Super cool. So Sonny accepted me as Mary mostly because there were things that I knew that he had said. And how can you know that, she said. Some of the girls couldn't quite see it as reincarnation, and I said that they didn't have to look at it that way. I think instead they just saw it as their mother working through me, which, like, if you think about it,
it's kind of what reincarnation is in a way.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're like Irish Catholic, and Catholics aren't really cool with reincarnation, I don't think. So, like, I could see how they would be like, nah. But yeah, not everyone has accepted that reincarnation is the correct answer to Cockell's experience. However, but researchers and prominent investigators of the paranormal Joe Nickel has claimed that her story breaks down under analysis, which I don't really see how. But apparently, like, he seems to think that her memories are more fantasies.
But you can't have fantasies that match up so much with someone else's reality.
Right. So at that point, you would, I mean, maybe you weren't reincarnated, but you're psychic? Like, I don't know.
Because you're not even in the same country.
Right.
Like, she knew the location, the freaking name of the doll. I mean, that right there blows my brains.
Yeah. So I guess, like, the only thing that I could see is, like, maybe it was, like, the situation where, like, you're putting so much out there that say you make, like, 100 statements and 2 of them line up, you know?
Yeah, but even that, I mean,
I don't know. I believe it. And I'm normally the skeptic in these situations. And I am so down with this whole reincarnation thing. I think it's awesome. I totally believe it. When these paranormal investigators like called her out and said that her story didn't really line up the way it should line up, she just said, I don't really need to respond to criticism. I can only explain what happens to me, which I think is like a perfect answer. So she stated, I grew up with people telling me that what I was quite sure was real wasn't, and I wouldn't want to do that to other people. I understand skeptics are uncomfortable with the idea of reincarnation, but they haven't experienced what I have experienced.
She sounds like a cool lady.
Yeah, she really does. So yeah, I mean, I think it's super badass. Like, regardless of whether or not she's truly Mary, which I think she is, she brought this family back together, so that's pretty rad.
That in itself is super cool. I have jingle jangle in my mouth.
I know, and I'm like pretty mad that I don't have it in my mouth right now, but I can sip on some Jameson. Yeah, so what are your thoughts on reincarnation? Do you believe it? Do you not believe it?
I'm a believer in everything. You know that. I believe too much. But I believe that she did good regardless. That these siblings didn't know about each other, and that because of her memories, whether they are true or not, she brought this family together again that didn't even know about each other.
Yeah, that was super cool. And even if she was just like researching a lot on her own and put it together, then that's still
But none of them
super
did.
cool. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But maybe they never really thought to.
I mean, you would think, I mean, maybe not. Maybe I'm totally out of line here. But you would think if you knew you were adopted, you'd somewhat question, you want to know where you came from.
Maybe. Or maybe you just accept your family as it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I thought it was super awesome. I totally believe in reincarnation now. I didn't really think about it much before. I actually went on Audible because I was going to be really cool and download a book on past life regression and listen to it before today and tell you all about my super cool past life. But I fell asleep listening to it.
Oh, it's very soothing.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of great. So maybe next week I'll tell you who I was in a past life.
Do you think everybody has a past life? Like, do you think people just keep getting reincarnated?
Sure. I think so.
They say that sometimes, like, that's where birthmarks come from.
I'll tell you more about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Okay. So this is kind of my ripple. And this is from I think it's from Psychology Today. I don't know. It's from one of those sources I listed at the beginning. So some psychologists wonder whether reincarnation actually exists. So this is like the medical spin on it, the science side of it. And Jim Tucker, MD, the director of the Division of Perceptual Studies at the University of Virginia, is studying just that. So he studied childhood reincarnation memories for decades, but he actually has taken part in this program that started way before his career. It's been around for more than 50 years now. And what they do is they investigate the past life claims of children. In this study, they have researched the claims of over 2,500 American children. And they found out that most kids who have past life memories have them between the ages of about 2 to 6. And then as they get older, they seem to kind of forget these memories. Well, most of them, like occasionally, like Jenny, they still remember. But about 2/3 will remember how they died, which is kind of interesting.
2/3?
Yeah.
That's pretty high.
That's a lot. Like most of them remember how they died. And most of those deaths were some sort of like traumatic, unexpected type of deaths.
Remember when you said that when we were driving one day?
Mm-hmm.
You were in the car and out of the blue, I don't know how old you were, maybe 4?
No, I was older than that because I totally planned it and I thought it was really funny.
You did not.
Yes, I did.
You were little and you said, "This is where I died."
I thought it was hilarious.
No, because you were super mad that we started laughing at you.
No, I wasn't. You're remembering wrong.
Go on.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, so these deaths present themselves often in night terrors, just like Jenny. And they also noted a trend of kids having birthmarks that would line up with the fatal injuries of their past life. Just like you said.
This is what I've heard, yeah.
So say they got, I don't know, shot in the head and they have like a birthmark on the side of their head.
Or stabbed with a sword.
Right. And then they have like a birthmark on their chest or whatever. Okay. But at the same time.
Do you have any birthmarks?
I do. I have a birthmark. So if I got murdered, I got stabbed in the left ovary.
Okay.
Because I have a birthmark like right kind of where my
left ovary would be.
Yeah. Like if I'm wearing lowrider jeans, like right where the waist would hit. Is that where my ovary is?
I don't
know. The general area.
I don't know. Ask the
Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper. I have one on my tummy right here. And then I have one like where like my bra line is on the side, like under my armpit.
So what do you think happened to you?
I think it took more than one person to take me out.
Or maybe you got eaten by an alligator and that was like the top and bottom jaw and it just crunched you.
That'd be kind of exciting. Sure.
Okay. So in explaining the science behind the studies, this is where I'm going to get super technical and scientific with you, so pay attention.
I'm scared.
And I'm going to read this slow because I'm going to mess it up. Quote, quantum physicists talk about electrons or events being potential rather than...
You know you lost me already, right?
This is for the smart people listening.
Okay,
If any
I won't
smart
interrupt.
people listen. Okay.
I won't interrupt.
Our listeners are brilliant and they will totally understand this. Okay, rather than actual physical entities, he said, so that there are various potentials basically until somebody looks and then it sort of forces the universe to make a determination about which potential is going to be actualized. Well, if that's the case, then we would not to expect an individual consciousness to end when the physical brain dies. And our cases, of course, provide evidence that in fact consciousness does not end and it continues on.
Are you going to
translate?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And I explore and speculate that if you use this metaphor, that might we say about existence after we die. Does that make any sense?
Break it down.
Okay, so he's saying that just like the whole idea of, I think anyway, I don't know, like energy transfers, it's not like destroyed. Does that make sense?
So if you die,
your consciousness lives on. Even if your brain dies, your soul, I guess, could potentially live on.
okay,
Is what
transfer
they're
of
saying.
energy.
Yeah.
Sure.
So-
that totally makes sense. Yeah.
One of like the most prominent cases that they've studied, or well-known, well-documented, talked about cases, is the case of James Leninger. Have you heard of James before?
No.
Because this is the one that I had actually heard about previously. I
No.
think it's like one of the more common ones.
I don't recognize the name at least.
Okay, James was an American child who at the age of 2 began having intense nightmares of a plane crash. And he would like wake up in the middle of the night and he would say, plane crash, fire, like this little kid.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is, yeah.
Okay, so he describes being an American pilot who was killed when his plane was shot down by the Japanese. And at first his parents were like, okay, well, we just took you to like an aviation museum. He's probably just like way too into it, like a lot of little kids are. They get like all worked up.
Like our brother.
Right. But then he started giving these like weird details and they're like, what the hell are you talking about? So he gave these details, including the name of the American aircraft carrier, which he was on. And at first, like the parents like didn't even think it was like a real name. I thought I had it written down here, but I actually don't. So he kept saying the name of the aircraft carrier. So they look it up and they're like, oh my God, that is an actual aircraft carrier. Like, how could he know that? And then he started giving the names of his friends who were on the aircraft carrier with him. So he had these like little action figure, like G.I. Joe dolls.
Yeah.
And he would say, oh, that's Leroy, that's whatever, and that's whatever. And then they looked it up and they're like, oh my God,
These are the real people.
those are real people. So his parents eventually discovered a close correspondence between James' statements and the death of a World War II pilot named James Houston. So another like really interesting part of it is that James, the little boy, would draw pictures all the time of this airplane. And in the bottom, he would sign his name and he would put James and then the Roman numeral 3. And they're like, well, why are you doing that? And he said, well, because I'm the third James. Well, James Houston was James Houston Jr.
Wow, I don't remember this part.
Yeah. So then the little boy James was the third James.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Didn't they take him to a museum as they're figuring this out? And there was a plane there, like the plane that he had been on, and there was like something in the wrong spot, or it was missing something, and he totally identified it.
Yep. That's totally true. So after he started giving out more and more information and they're kind of thinking like, okay, this is really weird, they took him back to the museum and I think it was a Corsair airplane that he was walking around.
I don't remember. Yeah.
And his mom pointed to something and she's like, oh, that's the whatever, some bomb or I don't know, something on the bottom of the plane. And she was reading like the label of it and he's like, no, that's the whatever it actually was.
Word.
And he would walk around the plane like he was doing like a pre-flight inspection that the pilots would do before they took off.
And there's no way a 3-year-old, 4-year-old would know. 18-year-old doesn't know how to do pre-flight inspection on a Corsair.
Yeah. And then another thing that he said too was like, oh, I hated that the tires always blew out on me. And they researched it, and this James Houston guy was actually one of the like test pilots for the Corsair. And when he would land, he was like known to land heavy, and he had like several tire blowouts on him.
Wow, it's so crazy.
It's so crazy. And there's so many stories like this. Like I could go on and on and on about all these different stories. I was telling Rosa before we started recording that I found this one that seems so cool, and I wish I would have found it before I found out the story about Mary, because it was this little boy in India, and he had a scar across his forehead. Mm-hmm. And he told his parents, well, yeah, that's where I got axed basically in the head. That's where he killed me. He took an axe and he hit me in the head with it. And they're like, what?
That's creepy.
So not only did he say that, which is super creepy. Imagine having a little kid that was like, Mom, Dad, that's where they killed me.
Shit.
He led his parents to his grave site.
Oh, no.
They dug it up.
No.
They found the skeletal remains of a man who was axed in the head, and they were able to identify him and his murderer because the little boy remembered. And
was it like an unsolved case?
Yes. And he solved it. And he solved it.
He solved like his own murder.
Yes.
I want to hear more about this. You need to do this in a later story too.
Okay. Maybe we'll do like a bonus episode.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that's my story about reincarnation and past life regression.
And you're now a believer.
Oh my God, I love it. Who do you think you were in a past life?
I don't know. I don't have any strong feelings one way or another.
I think
never mind.
What?
I was gonna say I take a lot of Xanax. I don't have feelings, period.
I think that you were I'm gonna say like a Renaissance era beer wench.
Okay.
Because you're social butterfly, you like beer and drinking.
And showing my boobs.
I was just going to say that. And showing your boobs.
And flirting and getting attention. Yeah, I could be that. I would like to be something more important than a beer wench.
Who says beer wenches aren't important?
What do you think you were?
I was probably a cowboy.
I was going to say you were a sheep herder.
Oh, a sheep herder.
Because they're like kind of solitary and like out on the range.
Oh, why not a cattle herder?
I don't know. I just picture
you
sheep.
You just feel sheep energy coming from me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rather than cattle. Mm-hmm.
I could totally see that. Because like cowboy, like, you know, kind of out on your own, just hanging out with your dog and your horse.
And you cruise into
some
town
whiskey
on occasion just to be like somewhat social. And then you're like, fuck, I'm out.
And then I'm gone for like a month. See ya later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think Eric was?
Our brother Eric, he was probably
I think he probably was friends with like the Wright brothers. Like someone that was like inventing trains or planes or automobiles. Like something like that.
I could see that.
He was like the brains behind the machine, but somebody else got all the credit.
Oh.
Right? Can
Maybe.
you see that?
I could see that. Yeah, well, let's do some past life regression. Hey, if you remember your past life, let us know. Tell us about it.
Email us or direct message us.
Yeah.
Or if you're like a psychic or a hypnotist and can do stuff via Zoom or whatever and can give us a session.
Yes.
That'd be rad.
That would be super rad. Rad is the word of the week.
Yeah?
Rad and penis.
Or dick.
Dick was last week.
Oh, okay. Shaft.
Oh, yeah.
We're 12. Okay. I need to do our last thought and a shot.
Yes.
And I need to pick our theme for next week.
Right.
Okay.
So what if you have a kid and that kid is like a reincarnated person
Okay.
and it's like Hitler?
Oh, that's not good.
That would be my luck if I had a kid. Maybe only good people get reincarnated. I don't know, but like
I was just going to say that. I would
Because-
hope only good people get to have another chance.
and there has been a couple cases that I was reading through that were like well-known people who were reincarnated. That like there's this one little boy who was Lou Gehrig.
Oh, okay.
And but yeah, I mean, imagine like what if you're like a little baby Stalin?
Well, I mean, maybe so, but maybe they're being reincarnated to make better choices the second time around, or third, or fourth, or fifth time around.
Or maybe it's your punishment for what you did in a past life.
That's your child.
Mm-hmm.
I would fix it.
Well, you never know.
I have a good kid.
For now.
So do you want to hear some fun Jameson facts?
Yes, of course I want to hear Jameson facts.
Okay. So I
still need to finish my Jameson.
I'm almost done with mine.
I'm going to be, I don't know. Am I going to be up all night or am I going to pass out when I get home?
Oh, I'm totally going to be up all night. I'm going to go for a
great.
ride on the Peloton after this.
I wasn't going to mention it, but
I
now
saw
that
you
brought
reading
it
my
up,
shirt. I saw you looking at my boobs.
this is week number 3 of Rosa and her Peloton.
really?
It is.
I didn't know it was
week 3
3.
of Rosa coming in her cult uniform with her Peloton tribe shirt on. And it says, Shorty tribe, Shorty tribe, Shorty tribe, Peloton. Is that like some chant you guys do?
No, it's because I'm short.
Oh.
So I'm part of the Shorty tribe. There's a whole like hashtag Shorty tribe. Because when you're working out, you can like I'm on Dog Moms. There's like, you can pick a certain number of hashtags.
Different sects of your cult.
And there's like a Ventura County one, but Shorties is one of mine.
Okay. I mean, it looks like a super comfy sweatshirt, but I'm afraid you paid way too much for it.
Do you want to know a secret? It's a total fake one.
Okay. When I first noticed it, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get one of those crickets or silhouettes or whatever the hell they're called, and I'm going to start printing me some Peloton merch.
No, and hopefully I'm not like outing my little Shorty tribe group, but there's someone in our group that does bulk orders of our shirts for us. So the one I wore last week, the Love Sweat Ride, was from them too. And she's not, I mean, if
I love that.
If I were to buy this from Peloton, it'd be like probably a $90 shirt.
That's insane.
But
that's robbery.
But I buy it from, and they sell out instantly. But if I buy it from her, she gives us like the $17 price.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We need to start a cult.
We are. It's the Ripple Pod cult.
And we're going to sell $90 penis shot luges.
Yes.
And
I'm making that. I don't know how, but I am going to make it. I'm so going to make it.
For it.
I just
wait. I got another idea.
Okay.
So, you know those silicone like ice cube trays?
Yeah.
We make frozen ice cube penis luge shot luge things.
So then the shot is cold.
Yes. Somebody do that for us.
This is happening.
Somebody send that to us.
We don't have a P.O. box yet, but
hey, if you actually want to send us something, I will get a P.O. box.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, so here's some fun Jameson facts. The one that I thought was like the super most interesting. So John Jameson, the guy that started, the distillery, he was Scottish.
Oh,
yeah. He was actually a Scottish lawyer, and his wife's brothers were in the Scottish whiskey business.
So they were making scotch.
And then they owned a Bow Street distillery in Dublin. So I thought that was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
This is like Irish whiskey, not Scottish. And then the other one that I thought was really cool, I'm just going to give you 2 little fun facts. The family motto is Sign Metu, SINE space METU, and it means without fear. And they have that like on their coat of arms and the label. Do you have the bottle in here?
Oh, no, it's in the other room.
Oh, we'll have to look at it. But the bottle has it on there, and that's what it means, without fear.
Well, I've definitely done a lot of things without fear after drinking quite a bit of Jameson. It has released my fear, removed my fear.
Okay, so let me pick for next week.
Yes.
Oh, before I pick for next week, let me give a little
Podcast announcement.
A podcast announcement for an upcoming special event that is going to be happening this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There is something called Pod VCon, and the V is for virtual because we are all a bunch of podcasters virtually coming at you live. And it starts on Friday, December 4th at 3 p.m., and that is Pacific Standard Time. And the Ripple podcast, Angela and I are going to come at you live Saturday, December 5th at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the way that you get to tune into this is we're going to be going live from our Facebook page, which is the Ripple Podcast. And then it's also going to be going on the PodCon website. So all you'll have to do is just tune into our Facebook page and you'll be able to catch it. But it's something that's going to be super cool. You're going to be introduced to a ton of different podcasts if you tune in. And I've got a really fun story that I'm going to be telling you guys.
I feel like I'm going to be a couple drinks deep by the time we get to 9 p.m.
You're supposed to be.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
It's kind of a requirement.
I did not know that.
All the moderators and admins have been talking about the different drinks they're going to be making.
Do you have a drink planned yet?
Absolutely, I do. It's in the, well, I'm not going to tell you where it is. But yes, I have a drink for that night.
Okay.
Because it's a special story. It's kind of like, I'm kind of having to do double homework because I volunteered to do this and Angela agreed to
drink and give commentary.
Drink and listen. So I'm going to be doing this special edition story, and then I have to pull for next week. So next week.
Do you have the basket?
Yeah.
Pull a location.
Ha! I don't have to get my passport stamped. I'm going to Texas.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Hey, whatever, you did Florida.
I love Texas, though. Can you bring me some brisket next week?
Sure. And then my subject is, fun, paranormal. I haven't done that for a while. We've done paranormal for a while, but I haven't for a while.
Yeah, sweet.
Cool. Okay, so Texas Paranormal. Tune in to PodCon, and we've got a lot of fun stuff planned.
Yeah. So check us out on Instagram at RipplePod, Facebook, The Ripple Podcast, and send us an email because we're going to do another listener story episode eventually if you want to send us any listener stories. And also coming up for our 50th episode.
Oh my gosh, I can hardly stand it.
An AMA where you can send any question, podcast related or not podcast related. You can ask us our favorite
ice cream.
Yeah, sure. I like ice cream. I'll talk about ice cream.
Ask us our scariest moment we've ever had. Ask us who we were in a past life.
Ooh, yeah. So, yeah, send us your questions and anything else?
Merch will be out soon. I'm putting it out there.
Okay. You're manifesting.
Okay. I don't really know what that means.
Okay.
Don't forget to be a fountain.
Not a drain.
Bye.
Bye.